Hey, good evening, everyone. Good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining. Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Hey, I hope everyone is doing well. Good evening. I know it's an off night for us. We don't usually do this on Tuesday evenings. However, I came home and I guess I'll jump right in. Good evening to you. I came home from work and I was a little tired today. Hey there, Anisha. I came home from work. I was a little tired today. Hey, yep, all my friends are on. So I'm going to get rolling. I came home from work and I took a nap, and I don't have a clue on why I kept thinking about what I was thinking about while I was sleeping. And as I was sleeping tonight, hey there to you. So as I was sleeping tonight, I kept thinking about dead weight. Dead weight. I have no idea why I was thinking about dead weight. I had a pretty good day today. Was not thinking about dead weight earlier, but I kept thinking about dead weight while I was taking my nap when I came home from work. And I just woke up about 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago or so, and I'm like, hey, I gotta share this, and I want to talk with you quickly about living with dead weight, living with, and I had to jot a few things down because I didn't want to forget them after I woke up from sleeping. Living with dead weight. I think dead weight comes in the forms of people, of places, and of thoughts. I didn't say things because things are kind of ambiguous, but I think that dead weight come in the forms of people, places, and thoughts. And I said that because if you think back to particular places in your life where you have been, it connects the people and the thoughts there. So a lot of us, we live with. We're living with dead weight. I am one of those people. So what I wrote in my journal and what I'm about to share with you, I'm definitely going to apply to my life to make sure that I rid myself of this dead weight. Now, hey, I want to take a moment and ask you to invite your followers because I really think they want to hear this. I don't really have 7 steps tonight or 3 steps tonight on how to get rid of dead weight. I really only have one sentence for you when I get to that point. But I would that you would invite your followers or share this on some form of social media, Twitter or the like, so that people can have this information. But here's what I understand about dead weight. And I got to make sure I get it how I wrote it down. Thank you for those who are doing that. Dead weight tries to keep you behind when you try to get ahead. Dead weight in the form of people, places, or thoughts try to keep you behind while you try to get ahead. People who are not excited, they're fine as long as you stay where you are. But when you choose to do something different, when you choose to strive for more, that is dead weight. A place when you could physically be moved from a place but still mentally be there. Come on, because we know that we can physically move out of several things, but still mentally be there. We moved out of our childhood homes a long time ago, but just the thought of it, you can bring memories back to the forefront of your mind. You can retrieve memories and bring them to the forefront of your mind because dead weight, and I'm talking about the negative memories, not the positive ones. Dead weight tries to keep you behind while you try to get ahead. Another thing about dead weight is that you carry it while it works to bury you. You carry it. Come on, think about living with dead weight. Thank you, scribe. You carry it while it tries to bury you. And we have to be very careful of people, places, and thoughts, because a lot of our issues happen in our mind. Whatever actions we do is a result of what we thought about, be it good, bad, or indifferent. For people who say when you ask them why did you do that, and they say I don't know, they may not be able to recall. You're right, Brittany. Quicksand. You might not be able to recall immediately why you did it, but it was as a result of something that you think. So dead weight, you try to carry it while it's working to bury you. The next thing about dead weight, and catch this, dead weight will never hold you up because it's always trying to pull you down. Let me say that again. Dead weight will never hold you up because it's always trying to pull you down. We've learned how to just deal with it. We've learned how to deal with it, but there are some things that we're dealing with that simply we need to be delivered from. Okay, let me say it again. There are some things that we just deal with that we need to be delivered from. So dead weight will never hold you up because it's always pulling you down. The next thing about dead weight is that dead weight, you will support it, but it never supports you. Now think clearly. Think about people who you always support, but they never support you. Think about, have some thoughts in your mind that it seems like you always got to overcome these thoughts in order for new, fresh thoughts to come in. Think about places where you've been that did not contribute to your growth. As a matter of fact, it stunted it because dead weight, you support it, but it will never support you. Living with dead weight. The next thing about dead weight is that dead weight is comfortable taking up any available space. Catch that. Dead weight is comfortable with taking up any available space. So what do you mean by that, Nelson? Think about weight on our regular bodies. Have you looked in the mirror, and I hope that this is not your case, but have you noticed that there is more of you than there used to be? And that is because weight, dead weight in particular, is willing and is comfortable, it may make you uncomfortable, but it is comfortable taking up any available space. And the thing about literal weight on us is that it will invade places that you really want to be off limits. Come on, seriously. Weight itself, literal, physical, tangible weight, will invade spaces. You might want some extra weight some places, but some places you might not want extra weight. You might want extra weight in your biceps and triceps. Some other places you might not want extra weight. And dead weight in particular is comfortable with taking up any available space. Any space that you do not have occupied intentionally, dead weight is more than willing to take up. Dead weight is consistently inconsistent. Dead weight is consistently inconsistent. And what do I mean by that? Dead weight, you know it's coming. But it may come in any particular form or fashion and just kind of get in where it fits in. Dead weight, it is just that. And the crazy thing about it is that we're living with it. We're living. I read today or heard today on the report through a report that the average human being carries about 30 pounds of waste in our bodies. The average human being carries about 30 pounds of waste. Can you imagine how you would look physically if you got rid of 30 pounds of waste? Not even 30 pounds of weight, of intentional weight, of muscle mass, but 30 pounds of waste. And so the thing about dead weight is that it's consistently inconsistent. You don't know where it's going to show up. You just know it's likely to show up. So it's consistent in that regards, but it's inconsistent. So you don't really know where it's going to come. Arms might get flabby. So things might just weigh you down because that's what weight does. Weight does. And the next thing about, or the last thing I'll share with you about dead weight is that, and here's the thing, you'll live with it, but it's perfectly fine living without you. Okay. If we're living with dead weight, you'll live with it, but it's perfectly fine living without you. Okay. So, you'll live with the memories, but the memories aren't going to change whether you exist or not. You'll live with the memories of certain people, but once people have gotten you out of their minds and gotten over you and have They fear that you're done, and they put you in the vault, never to be opened again, and throwing away the key. The interesting thing is that you'll live with it, but it's perfectly fine without living with you. Living with dead weight. I don't know why I was dreaming about this tonight. Maybe it was for me, so I definitely wrote it down, because one of the things I teach at the church and I teach others is that God is never obligated to repeat himself. So that's why I wrote it down. I'm sure I'm going to need this information. I shared it with you, but I'm sure I'm going to need it. But here's the, and I know I said that was the last thing. I'm a preacher. I got to close several times. But seriously, when you live with dead weight, here is the thing. Hi, Stephanie's daughter. Hope you're well. Here is the thing about dead weight. And this is the subtlety of living with dead weight, that you will exchange function for fulfillment. You'll exchange function for fulfillment. What do you mean by that, Nelson? I'm dealing with it, and I'm getting along, and I'm moving right along. But you will understand that you can go further faster if you're lighter. And so you will rather function in it and deal with it and not have fulfillment, because you just figure, well, I've learned how to cope. I've learned how to make adjustments. I've learned how to make accommodations. And so you will confuse, or you will sacrifice fulfillment for function. Living with dead weight. I want to give you one statement to help those of us who are living with dead weight. And it is a quote, but I'm going to paraphrase it tonight. I do not remember the author. Please forgive me. I've heard several different people say it, so I do not know. Right, Francis? Existing and not living. I don't know exactly who said it, but I do want to throw it out. That you can't conquer what you don't confront, and you can't confront what you don't identify. You can't conquer what you won't confront, and you can't confront what you don't identify. The very first thing is that you have to identify people, places, and thoughts that are dead weight to you. After you identify, there has to be a confrontation. And here is the thing. You're not confronting people. You're confronting the problem. You're not confronting individuals. You're confronting the issue. Because anyone or anything that is fine with helping you function, but is not fine with helping you be fulfilled, is dead weight. I think I will say that again. Anyone who is comfortable with helping you just function, but is not helping you feel or be fulfilled, is dead weight. And you've got to identify that, and you've got to confront that. And at the point that you confront that is really when you start conquering that. At the point you confront it is the time you start conquering it, but you cannot confront it if you don't identify it. So many people want victory. You want to stand under the banner of victory, but you are not interested in the bruises of the battle. And I wasn't even going here, but I'm going to go here. I'm closing my journal. I'm about to shut Periscope off. But I can tell a lot about a person. This is like the bonus right here. This is overtime. I can tell a lot about, you're clowning tonight, Stephanie. I can tell a lot about a person by their scars. I can tell a lot about a person by their scars. And I'll give you an example. On my right knee, and I've told this story at church before, on my right knee, I have a scar. It has gotten smaller over the course of my lifetime, but I got the scar years ago when I was a child. I believe it was before I was a teenager. I got the scar when I was a child. And what happened was I was riding my bike, and I was riding my bike real fast, and I went to hit the brake. That was the dirt bike before we upgraded to the speed bikes. That was a dirt bike. And so, I didn't have handlebar brakes. I had brakes of the pedals. So I pulled back on the pedal real hard, and the chain slipped. And the chain slipped, and I went sliding. And when I went sliding, I scraped my knee. Follow me. And so I just told you, I can tell a lot about a person by their scars. And this is how I know that. The scar on my knee, here's the thing about a scar. A scar lets you and everybody else know that you are now able to do something that you were not able to do before. A scar tells you and others that you've overcome something that was trying to overcome you. So my scar, when I look at my knee every day, I am reminded of an experience that I had with a bike, but it did not stop me from getting back on my bike. And so the scars in your life, I really believe that when you use them properly, oh my gosh, that your scars will really turn into stars, and they'll remind you of the things that you have conquered because of what you chose to confront, because you identified it first. Hey. Gotta tell you, I really want you to live without dead weight. And in order to do that, we've got to identify it. We've got to conquer it. We got to confront it, and we will conquer it. Hey, I want you all to have a good night. I got some more work to do before I go to bed. Thank you so much for your time tonight. I know this is our off night. I'm usually studying on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but I told you that nap after work did us some good, and I got some good rest. And the Lord started talking to me about dead weight. So I don't know if it was just for me or for you too, but I hope that this helped you tonight. I hope it was practical for you. Hey, seriously, you got to identify it. You got to confront it. You cannot just identify it and leave it there. You got to confront it, and then you'll conquer it. And no, stop covering up your scars. That's a whole nother lesson for another day. But your scars are a part of your story. And so never be ashamed of your story. Never be ashamed of your story. Be selective with who you share your story with. And be selective on how much of your story you choose to share. But never be ashamed of your story, because your story contributes a great deal to who you are today, where you are today, why you are where you are today, how you are today, and where you can go from here. Hey, continue to walk by faith and look great doing it. Until next time, be blessed.